was the strangest item that you ever smuggled across the border?
I think the strangest thing ever smuggled across the border was candles. Candles were impossible to get in the Free State. And I used to go around in the car, around the country, collecting the different shops.
Yes.
Candles were very profitable at that time, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, one particular shop I went into, and I can name the name because the man's there, and Cumberclary, one man that I got to know, and I went into him, and he says, want a lot of candles, one of them, across the border. Oh, he says, how many do you want? I said, I would be happy with a couple of crates. A couple of crates, there were about 12 in every wee box, you know, and you've got a big crate of candles.
Oh, right,
you know?
right.
So he took me out to the back, big back shed out of the back, and he opened these great big doors. And what I saw, I nearly died. The bloody candles were stopped in boxes from the ground to the ceiling. He says, how many do you want? I had only a wee car with me. I wanted 3 or 4, you know. And I got become very friendly with that man.
I'll bet you did.
Oh,
Were there many smuggling, you know, generally along the border areas? Were there many people involved in smuggling?
I think most of the smuggling was all small quantities, like people from Derry going to Buncrana smuggling like shoes and things like that there. Well, they were only small things. I could have done that here. I wanted to make it worthwhile, you know.
Right.
Which at the end of the story I'll tell you why I give it up, you know.
Right, okay. So it was just done in a small way for stuff that people needed themselves.
Some people need, yes.
All right.
You know.
Were you well known for the smuggling in these parts?
Oh yes, always surely did that. Oh, was well known. And I knew a lot of people, you know, I got a lot of help and a lot of advice. Not that I needed very much advice about smuggling. I think I could write a book on it, you know.
You might yet. How did you get on with the customs? You bypassed them or did you brazen it out?
Oh, they were great friends as long as I was smuggling something in the car. Oh, I got out and shook hands with them. And, you know, and I remember one particular day where I had the car full and I went over and there was a helicopter passed over and the customs man and he got out and admired the helicopter and how low it was flying. And it wasn't right for it to be flying that. And we were going to report it to the authorities.
Over Lifford Bridge?
Over Lifford Bridge at the customs, the Northern Customs. And I passed them a good day and got onto the car and drove off.
Have you any regrets about any of this healthy pastime of yours?
The only regrets I have is that it stopped. That's the only regret I have. You know.
You enjoyed it?
Oh, it was great fun and it was exciting.
And yeah,
you know,
there was excitement.
Mind you, I'm saying that, and at the same time the money was useful.
Of course,
you know,
of course.
But I really did enjoy going out and planning who I was going to meet, where I was going to meet them, how the hell I was going to get across, and was I going to wade, swim, or what, how I was going to, you know, but always managed, always managed.
And that member of the RUC that you met way back when you were telling us, did he ever catch up with you?
They spoke to me, were friendly with me, and as I told you before, pointed the finger at me and said, Paddy, we'll get you yet, you know. I enjoyed this crack. You know.
But they didn't?
No, no way.
You were too clever for them,
Oh, I was...
I remember my father talking about having to bond your car if you came in from the Republic into here. Did you have to do anything like that?
Oh yes. Oh, you had. As a matter of fact, as a matter of interest, I still have the book where you were stamped in and stamped out, which was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I know from coming in from the Republic, you had to have somebody in here who could identify you. Was that the
No, all you wanted was the book.
How did you get the book?
Oh, you took your car over and they gave you the book according to the number and registration of the car and all.
All right.
And on that book, when you turned to the page, there was an exit, you know. You were stamped in and stamped out. To give you an example, if we were playing a table tennis in Ballyshannon, tennis match, I played a lot of table tennis. Whenever we were playing a match here, and and Ballyshannon. If we went over, say for instance at 8 o'clock,
yes,
and we were going to Ballyshannon, we had to take out a request at that customs point in Lifford and tell them exactly what time we will be back from Ballyshannon. 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, we had to tell them, and you had to pay 2 and 6pence for a request. 2 and 6pence
to come out of
to
the
come back out
Republic
again.
into the north.
To come back out again.
My goodness.
And that was to make sure that you couldn't come out without getting your book stamped.
Yeah, stamped.
You see. Oh, that went on for years and years. That, you know, I still have my book yet. You know.
Okay.
Although I'm telling you, when I was smuggling, I didn't need a book. It was a Bible all I needed.
Paddy, they're all my questions asked, so if you want to go on ahead now and talk yourself freely about anything else that you want to add to your smuggling experiences, we'd be delighted to hear.
No, the only thing I would like to finish a note on is that I had a couple of good friends who were working in the Stavan here, and we did a wee bit of smuggling together, and made a few shillings too as well. And they were apprentices in a shop in the town here, so we got together and used to work out plans together. But anyway, I told them one day, we'd been friends for years, and I told them one day that I was going to give it up. I was going to give up smuggling completely, altogether.
Right.
And I advised them to do the same. But they said, no, we'll carry on for another while. Well, I says, now, that's a matter of you. So they were stopping in digs, and this digs where they were stopping in, they had a big tea chest, a tea in the middle of the floor. And a tea chest in those days weighed 112 pounds weight. And they used to put it into sugar bags. And the reason why they put it into sugar bags, tea chests were very dangerous to handle because there was a thin edge right round them. They would cut you. So we used to put the tea into sugar bags, which are a fine mesh and easy handle, you know. And they set off this night with their own wee car. I had retired at this time, I told them.
All right, okay.
And they set off for the last thing. And lo and behold, they were caught. Just at the Houston Graham's house over the Lifford Road.
All right.
There used to be a big tin red hut there. They called it the cage.
Was that what they called it?
That's the cage.
Right.
And if their wee car was smuggled, and it was seized. And they were summoned, lost the tea, lost the car, and a short time afterwards, in court, and both of them got 6 months each in Crumlin Road jail.
Did they?
Then they did the 6 months in Crumlin Road. They're two very respectable fellas, you know. They were serving their time in the shop in Stavan. So I heard all this crack, and I was very sorry for them, but they didn't take my advice. So, anyway, I was going over the Lifford Road one day and I saw the wee green Ford car in the cage, and that annoyed me. So, I made an arrangement and went over and saw the customs, including Miss Harris, who was a customer.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you could, at that time, you could have bought the car out. You had to pay to get the car out.
Yes.
If it was seized, you had to pay to get it out.
Yes.
So I bought the car. Anyway, got it out, and that night, although I had given up the smuggling, I went out to a certain place, filled the bloody car, drove it over the next morning, over the border at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I made the price of the car. Unless you're prepared to listen to me for another 2 hours, you better put an end to this smuggling charge. I'm not going to.